There's enough of that kind of talk. We're here for Ask Coomer,
Hey, thanks for coming.
who, amazing poet, artist, novelist. We've talked about this, but no, I'm really looking forward to hearing some Ask Coomer. So, if you will take the stage.
So I'm going to read this many. If I get to here and I look over and everybody's glazed, I'm just going to stop. So don't worry. Okay. This one's in Sing While You Can. There's a microphone, I forgot about that. Which looks great. The layout looks great. The cover's fantastic. Thank you. I'm going to read them again and make sure there's no boo-boos and then come to your house and make you change them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just I'm not going to do that. But this one is called Sing While You Can. And it's in Sing While You Can.
You gave me a list of possible titles. That was the one I liked.
I like it too. Titles are hard sometimes.
They really are. Yeah.
They either come immediately or
They just
Yeah.
struggle with it.
Or they're a chore. Yeah.
Or you make somebody else entitle it for you.
That's what happened with my novel, The Fetishists. I called it Debts and Bad Pain, and the publisher was like, we're not doing that. And they were like, what about The Fetishists? Yeah, I like that.
There you go.
Alright, sing while you can. Sing breath, blink chorus, nod verse, strut blues. Keep time with thumbs driving thump, 18-wheeler rhythm, tire shredding blowout brakes, bend note like bone before snap, push tubes until inundated speaker speaks last year's Kinlan's crackle, cackle in key with the murder of crows, descend in chromatic turkey vulture concentric circles, trill lone souls restless whippoorwill warble, sink into quicksand melody and give in. Understand the fight is futile and the current only goes the one way. It'll spit you out, sure, but winds a vengeful lover song, and even the longest breaths eventually give out. Sometimes the sweetest notes are the ones you don't play, only hint at, give whiff of, implicated nirvana, the last leaf quaking on the bow of the boat, the camera sweeping away before the fall, Dakota's promised return to the golden chord. Alpha and Omega stops one step short. Another ghost note. Every song ends in anticipation. The song only seems to linger. Sing while you can. Round out the vowels if you lose the words. Focus on the harmony. Sing while you can. Often the song will take unforeseen directional shifts. Learn to be limber. Adapt to the new sound. That was the old sound. That is the now sound. Now sing while you can. Though the weight of the sound is immense, sing while you can. Though every day is a faceless slog, a montage of funhouse music, and the song seems less joyful noise and more chaotic discordance, as these days are lapped smooth by the dirty runoff of existence, see the beauty left by erosion. That master sculptor's careful licking. Though the frets have been ground down to flint glints in the fretboard forest, they buzz no more. Though the high whistling tinnitus slowly bleeds everything out in its patient banshee's wail, though its generic vapid pop sentimentality, though its hallmark cavity bell reverberations, though it's a crowded bar gig with no monitors, though it's the beer spilled on the overheated amp in the pursuit of more power, more volume, more, though it's limited wattage with wall of sound dreams, though it's the earworm hook lost in translation, though it's not the song, You felt ready to sing, sing, goddammit. Sing while you can. Alright, this is a new one. It's in several choruses and a coda. It's called Cenote Blues Tulum Obey, number 2. First chorus. Fall into the cenote of despair and sing. Fill your lungs with polluted groundwater. Breathe oil slicks and bloated corpses and sing. Sink low, but find no bottom. Lose all sense of direction. Flail wildly. Grasp at the inundating big bad nothing and sing. Feel it slip between useless swollen fingers. Crush frantic blind eyes and hollow jack-o'-lantern skull. Extinguish your scorched wick of hope and sing. Second chorus. Dance with the sacrificial headless skeletons. Dance with the eyeless bottom feeders. Dance with the crushing weight bearing down all around and now. Always been and now. No future but the now and now. Dance in line with the steps of living, which are the steps of dying, which are not steps at all, really, not in any regular time signature, nor with any regard for the backbeat of self. The decaying rhythm of this rusted automaton heart dances the desperation shuffle right along with the sighing wisps of wallflower wishes populating the hellish nightscape of the deep. A blue bleeding black, back-to-back anxiety attacks, sharp bites of scorn, scar tissue adorned with tattooed failure. Third chorus. This inexhaustible conflagration rages on while we carry on far too long with the idle-handed snare snap backing claps, with the bent notes sailing on wind-whipped waves, with the ghost note haunting every house we've ever lived in, with the bawling choruses drunken brawling, 2 fists for every voice in orbit, with an eternal resonance clacking back this Ouroboros, a swan song, stigmata palm muted trinity, a carefully scooped fresh grave with whipped cream tombstone on top. Coda. Every line another unexplained pyramid taken as is. Rudimentary rules for a game everybody knew. The sporting court of sun-baked Chichen Itza once swarmed with sweating bodies in a blood-speckled pastime, culminating in a short victory lap to the final cenote. The real winner lost to time, time making losers of all. Now I see these old stones bleed their storied dust, and their poetry etches ancient incantations on my limestone mind, and there it is again, somehow louder than cacophonous life, that soundless thief, time. This one's about 6. It's also in Sing While You Can. It's called Zion. Funny backstory. I don't do backstories, but this one's kind of funny. So before I sent these to you guys, I was letting my wife read them, and I was like, here, read these, make sure these are okay, you know. And so I go downstairs, and I come back up, and she's reading this poem to her mom. And it's one of those things where you walk in, you're like, what do I even do in this situation? Just turn around and right the fuck out. Anyway, it's called Zion. Long legs elongate further. Lean muscles stretch like the slow arcs of a long-lost desert highway, smooth as the rolling horizon there. Terminus reached, legs settle, remain taut. Hands behind knees lift in gentle firmness. Hips rise slowly. Open highway descends to lush low valley. The kind of place where you want to build a home and never leave. But all rides end, and drought will find even this perfect Eden. Spoiled, cotton candy thoughts swirling, grainy crumbs of doldrums dropped into swift mountain creek. Marvel in momentary slipstream, then dissipation and steaming exhalations, breathing synchronization as this valley's current beckons. Follow pheromone path, linger along slippery surfaces, warm, wet eddies. Let quick wisps of shuddering breath and undulating waves lead the way. Explore valley, explore valley, explore valley. I'm so sorry, Vivian. All right, this one's also in Sing While You Can. It's called False Psalmody, or it's I've got a collection of nocturnes everywhere I live. This one's Nolan, Nocturne number 1, and it starts a quote from the one and only John Prine. When I die, let my ashes float down the green river. John Prine, Paradise. Bear the cross of time. Slip thoughts through browning river, bottom of fallen sunken leaves, watched over by skeletal finger bone trees, through churned up wake of disintegrating dreams. Smooth think like flint, past the limestone rime between those in observable orbit and those in penumbra. Whisper sing broken codas. Slide, shuffle, or scrape towards the fading pinprick light at the end of the seemingly eternal tunnel. Squint at its haloing shape. Build singing, saw a mountain of tears. It's the journey, goddammit. Remind yourself, the journey. Mind memorable misunderstandings, pull character through windows of fault, drink illusion of surety or error or terror of change. Step back. Press body to wall, hold on to the moment before the weight got too heavy. Cherish beauty in sadness, as this is all. The weight will be carried until it can't. Mouth full of broken headstones earned not by a life of living, but a one-off failed escape from the obsidian fingers of end. Feel the crush of their frantic struggle and its ever-tightening vice. Teeth infection yellow, 3:33 a.m. deep cavities, chipped tips where harder hards bit deep. Siren susurrus song shatters, free-willing free will, sing along with those whisper-sung codas. Blend internal with external, create new in remembrance. Dilate or hone, edge or blend, chunk or bleed. Winters so long the songsters forgot, lived solely in songs of spring. Muddy mommy constricts, ice flows recede, revealing more broken markers. Please, let me sing a psalm of hope. One day, one day. False psalmody, ghostly harmony, twin reverberating neon parallelograms encased in electric sacred texts. Newly formed spiral staircases leading nowhere. All roads eventually end. What isn't a dead end? I assume the river Styx meanders much in the way of the Nolan. And if you find yourself dumped off into the wider waters of the Green River or the still frigid pool of purgatory, you'll find just the one ferry, just the one cycle pump, just the one payment left to make. Everything. No one's throwing shit yet. I'm gonna keep reading. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. This one's also in the chapbook. Which was right there. Okay. Scorched Page Splendor, another poem for the compost. 1. This isn't the world's first warring winter, and Lord knows it won't be the last. War on earth will die with the humans. But every time another bully bullies the world into picking sides in an imaginary division, the artists pick up their brushes, see the painters shifting palettes, burning aspens in the fading Colorado sun. The singers raise their voices, harmonies of discontent, Symphonic pleas, rising waters sustain. The riders pick up their pens, feed the currents of electric thoughts through high voltage hearts and fleet-footed fingers. Momentary masterpieces captured. Behold, the branching beauty of the controlled lightning strike. Scorched page splendor. 2. Is it not taking and more taking still? Is it not have and take and need and have not? Why is it bleed and leave and not breathe and be? What is there but death in the lie of living? Why are there more questions than anything even remotely resembling answers? 3. All these things built on the backs of others. These carefully manicured lawns and barbed wire fences. These brick and concrete edifices of invisible currency. Symbolic classist numerology of profitable land stolen from the trust of all. These riches we yank from the earth and the explosions they fuel. King convenience promising this, taking that. Queen contrivance coveting all, making arrangements. 4. Let there be water that is not from the flood. Let there be light that is not from the blast. Let there be peace that is not from the final silence. Let the cries of our neighbors be from joy and joy alone. Let our hands be sore from toiling beside each other in the fields of understanding. Let us work our shared land with the plow of kindness while there's still light to be had.
Do it.
We're reading another one.
Do it.
You act like we're getting bored.
I was just making sure.
He's pulling out a book from a lesser press.
Oh,
Man.
gotcha.
Whoa!
Hey.
I heard their most recent release only sold 2 copies. It was written by me.
That's not Laughing Wrong, that's Rosa Press.
This is Gutter Snot Books.
Gutter Snot.
Oh, I thought that was that Laughing Roman book you put out.
No.
You need to know.
What, man? It's being rough over
You're gonna talk shit, bro. Be right.
Well, never mind.
Lesser Press, though. I like that name.
That'd be a good press name, yeah.
Lesser Press?
The Lesser Press.
Yeah.
Are we do this, or we are gonna start?
Yeah, it's up and running. I've got some ISBNs to burn, so.
Yeah.
We'll just publish our own books.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's all incestuous anyway. All
It is.
right.
When you say it that way.
This one is I'm not gonna preface it. Early summer Georgia Van Gogh. The OBGYN dreams of birds fluttering from the womb. In her retelling, I see the motion of Georgia O'Keeffe's palette, but Vinnie Van Gogh's broad-stroked birds. It ends with a gaping mouth look up at the patient's open trunk, the uterus gone. Again O'Keeffe. This time, blue and green music throbbing in Signiac time with her rising pulse. Strings screech, rise like waves, splashing cacophony stealing her breath. She wakes to a Renoir smear that melds into a blue-black bedroom Cézanne as the tears clear and sleep flees, tail tucked between its arthritic knees to hobble out a drunk bastard's rocking dance under the sickly sickle moon and pinprick stars.
I like the preface for that, though. Was that The Dream?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was neat.
Oh, you needed the preface for that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So my wife is an OBGYN, and before there was even the leaked Supreme Court ruling that they're going to overturn Roe v. Wade, before the leak even came out, she had this fucking dream where she woke up and she was crying, she was upset. She was going in to do surgery, and they opened her up, and all these birds just filled the operating suite in this circling wild thing. And she woke up, and then it was like 2 or 3 days later the leak came out, and she's like, what is this about? And so she told me about the dream, and like I think in terms of music or painting. So
Yeah.
that poem, that's how that poem came about. You know.
That's
There you go,
amazing.
Joseph. I never preface stuff usually. I guess that's one I
I
should
think
start.
at the reading you were talking about it, you were talking
At
about
the
that
library?
in the past. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
That's fascinating though. I enjoy the inspiration behind some of the poems too, you know.
Yeah, it's just like every time I open my mouth, like my foot goes immediately there. So I'm always just like, here's a fucking poem.
I
Okay.
think your wife and I should talk. I used to have dreams about giving birth to animals all the time. So
Oh, jeez.
yeah. So she and I could talk about the birds and stuff.
There we go. Yeah.
The birds and the bees.
Yeah.
The birds and the bees and the beasts.
So, right, the birds and the bees and the fake goats and jackals. Okay.
Alright. I think I'm done with this book. I got 3 poems. Can we make it through 3 poems? Is that okay?
We'll try.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this
Do
one
our best.
is super cheerful. It's called Death in 4 Parts.
Yes.
I saw death hanging from a dogwood branch, flitting like a headless chicken in the winter breeze, spilling steaming purple horror under the blood-flecked but smiling sad-eyed moon. Death rode shotgun, sun-speckled and fiddling with the aftermarket radio, lighting from station to station like carrion to the slaughtered, knowing every word to every passing chorus, every amen, hallelujah, and insurance jingle, making me second guess my policy of never having a policy, shooting sly, side-eyed glances like jagged, glinting obsidian rising from tumultuous Pacific waters, new earth in black concussive flashes, already cooling for the tread of others. Death swam in our taillight slipstream like eyeless Stygian eels, weaving neon tracers through our sepia-toned exhaust steam, rain dog lapping at the antifreeze as it splashes down on the steaming pavement. Us, desperate puppies, huffing up us, desperate puppies, huffing up good fumes from bad gas. Objects in mirror may transcend space and time and inhabit the roiling space between your elongating ears. Mind, a shattered glass reflection of a crystal cubist truth, resplendent here, fractured in the kaleidoscopic there. Memory, a shackle chafing to be free. Twin psalmists' conflicting pleas, plagiarized parallelisms for light in the endless dead of winter dark, and clouds on taffy-tongued dog days when death smiles down from the flaring teeth of that black-hearted sun and bakes you where you stand. Death vacations in winter, just like any good American taxpayer. She sits on the beach and rolls up the sleeves of her road-weary robe and soaks up Floridian rays down to the very center of her petrifying marrow. She too dozes in the heat, dreams of an escape from the mad tedium and nihilistic certainty of the stretched truth backdrop of the everyday. That hand we all feel forced to play. Knowing you're in the cave is only half the battle, sweet philosophers. But something in the Gulf breeze will make death want to swing that screaming scythe once again, and we'll have to drop everything, all of it, honeybee, and flee over imaginary lines and natural divides, through late winter's final sigh of twisting clouds and spiteful spits of snotty snow, under the cover of jostling tulip poplar branches laden with an early spring's verdant buds, past the roaring summer shimmering in fall's snapshot hiccups, all a blur as we run for our lives. Together, but alone with our individual deaths, death, shaking off the hazy holiday days, finally finished, sharpening that luminous blade, shifts her gaze, adjusts her grip, and whistles an old work song as she gets back to what she does best. And we pretend all this running is going to change that. Okay. Sweet Cream Fever Dream. And this one's a song. So the fiddle solo intro is this. So I'm just going to announce the part of the song and then read you the part of the song. That's how this works. Sweet Cream Fever Dream. Fiddle solo intro. Planchet scribe, O Holy One. Etch out your ghost wave reverberations. Drop them in that spring tank and crank it up. Play it back through the amp with the busted tubes. Listen from the other room while fiddling with the next song. While fiddling in the last threnody. Fiddling while the whole thing burns. Verse 1. Blessed be the pen that sings, the keys that flee, the strings that ring, shed rust and breathe. Verse 2. Praise the song with your own harmonies. Layer the rush of air in and out of your lacerated lungs. Let them rot blossom like poison dahlias. Let their death blooms coat and open under the heavy-lidded blue moon. Praise the song while singing. Praise the song by singing. Praise the song. Sing. Chorus. There are only 12 notes. Patch them into quilts for the night is cold. Sing their song of plenty. There are only 26 letters. Fill your tank with them, for the bride is long. Sing their song of plenty. There is but the one heart with each pair of hands, the one mouth to push the wandering song of hard living out in the wilds of this crooked life of steady dying. Sing their song of plenty. Instrumental break in which the ghost of John Prine leads us on an extended finger-plucked guitar medley that nods in the direction of the looming horn-accompanied bridge and solo fiddle outro. Verse 3. A gentle remembrance comes on like hay fever in a flickering eternal summer sweet cream fever dream. A gradual ache into ecstatic cramps. Images shift. Blur your mind's eye like the smear of an impressionistic tear, thick and muted. Every scene graced with a halo, any sense of death left after a lifetime of spilling the paint is lost. Fatigue fought late into the morning each night, staring up into the midday sun to start the day with yesterday's smoke. Memories as a series of still lifes. Blue period blue showcased. Purples bled pink, black coming in at the end, the oil worked over for a lifetime, drying only after a death left unvarnished. And then you would repeat the chorus. And then this is the bridge with the brass a la Muscle Shoals. Okay, so like, get those horns in your head. Okay. The heaviness of previous weights sends echoes thrumming across the bare and bruised shoulders of now. The snare snap of each broken collarbone on time and dripping sustained. The chipped bits of brittle bone shrapnel slip between the slow cascade of caving ribs. The thorn inside lodges like a barb. Pierces the atrophied muscles of your sense of self, injects splintered poison needle tips into plaque-ridden arteries. Pulsing constricted streams of slurry wear through the body's flimsy retaining walls. A slow septic tide of ceaseless death. That blip in the tape. Out of tune warble, sandpaper salt in ear wounds, grinds grains of sugar into ringing cavities. And this is the solo fiddle outro.
Man.
Sing instant karma. Just add water boxed karma. This recipe calls for tears. Sing drive-through love. Deep fried but soggy. Deep fried but frozen at the center. deep fried with last week's spent oil. Sing discount store $2.37 short blues. Repeat the lines until new meanings are worn, like the names of lovers on the sandstone arches of eastern Kentucky, like the first names given to the stars, like the whisperings of these deciduous trees, like a gentle return to the song of the breeze, like the late August setting sun's promises of a night lengthening with each return fiddle, O Holy One, while the whole thing burns. Right? Yeah. We'll save that one for next time.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Just
Thank
thank
you.
every single individual audience member. That is so awesome.
I want to thank everybody.